The Gathering Storm. The first book in the series that is written by Brandon Sanderson, and it starts with a really heartfelt note by Sanderson about him taking over the series, and it's just really a great send-off to Jordan and an introduction to Sanderson. It really seems like, he is probably one of the only people who can really finish the series in the way that Jordan would have wanted it to be completed. And yeah, he's the best. He's the best for the job. It is probably my favorite book since, I don't even know what, earlier in the series. It is one of the best books of the series by far. It has some of the best, most compelling story arcs, and I just love how many pages is in this book? 855 pages of basically just setup can be so good. It's just, Sanderson, I think, paces books very well. So there's such a large book, and it has so many characters and so many different plot lines. It's hard to keep all those, going. And I can see how writing the last three books of this series was probably a huge inspiration for how the Stormlight Archive series is structured, because Sanderson masterfully handles all those characters, and it is done really well in this book. One of the things that obviously is, something you're paying attention to as you read the book is the fact that it's not Jordan's writing. It's his ideas. He wrote out, I guess, the plot points for one book, and they made it into 3 books, which you read this book and you think, oh my gosh, how could this have been the last book? Or I guess, how could the last book have fit into just this one? And yeah, I can't imagine that. So I'm glad they took the time to finish out the series with 3 books. So to my point, the writing is so consistent to what Jordan wrote. The characters feel the same. The way the story is told feels the same. It just, if you didn't see Sanderson's name on the cover, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. It just feels like the best of Jordan's series, and I loved it. This was a 5-star book for me. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was Rand's story arc. He's probably the best part of this book. He starts out really, really angry and violent, and I guess they always use the word hard. He's hard. I guess that's a fine way to describe it. But he goes through he's been going on this kind of downward trend, and you actually finally get to see some, consequences in these last 2 books for those actions. And it is really, it's powerful, because your hero, the main character of the whole series, is kind of going crazy and is starting to kill people and is killing people, and it's bad. So Rand in this book, he tries to make peace with the Seanchan, can't. He then is basically, he's the captured. He has a domination, one of those male, what are they called? Idoms put on him by Semirhage, and he touches the true power to escape. So I'm really interested to see how that will turn out. I don't know what predictions I made about who Moradin was. Oh, I think I said maybe he was Mazrim Time, because we really don't see or hear from him much. Still think that could be true. Um, but his connection with Moradin gives him access to the true power, and I wonder if we'll see that again. He uses it in this one instance, and Lews Therin loses his mind. So I don't know if that'll happen more, but I'm pretty excited to see what happens. And he kills Semirhage, and he's all angry, banishes Cadsuane, because she was supposed to be the one guarding the Idam, and you just see it's just steps of him getting angrier and harder, and the culmination is he almost kills his father. So eventually they have this, the Aes Sedai have this plot to get Tam to see Rand, because Tam's now with Perrin, they can locate him, but they bring him to his, you think, man, this could actually do it, and then he almost kills him. And I almost wish he did kill him. No, because that probably would have been, for Rand's character, probably would have been irredeemable in himself if he killed his father. But he almost killed him. It's good enough for raising the stakes. And he leaves and goes to destroy the Seanchan. Why exactly this was the leap he made, I don't quite know, but it was cool. And so he's going to kill the Seanchan, and then I think probably one of the most interesting points that they haven't really resolved yet is that the Seanchan are pretty good at ruling the people. All their cities are well ordered, safe, clean, and it kind of leaves the question of, should they be in charge, or is there some, way to kind of keep that single unification top-down leadership style, and maybe that instead of all these small leaders for all these different countries, clearly that's working a little bit. And so he decides he's questioning this himself, and it's a really interesting question. I wonder what the I wonder how the Seanchan issue resolves itself, because it doesn't seem like they're teaming up in any meaningful way because of the earlier rejection in the book. Clearly there's not going to eliminate all the channelers, so the Seanchan aren't going to get everything they want, but I feel like that's one of the few plot narrative points that seems like, how can this be resolved, in 2 books? I don't know. We shall see. So I'm interested to see how that will shake out, because the Seanchan are a really interesting problem. Anyway, speaking of the Seanchan, during this whole time, they also attack the White Tower, which is what Egwene said would happen, and it does happen, and she's awesome. I feel like I've really enjoyed Egwene's story arc for this book and the book before and this book. It's so, it just shows how far she's come and how powerful she is. Well, in this book, how powerful she is as an Aes Sedai, but also how powerful she is as an Amyrlin, and coming into her own as the leader of the Aes Sedai. It's awesome, and it really, it's a really great way for this character to have developed. So that was really cool. The whole tower fight, which is basically just Egwene versus the Seanchan, is awesome. And what happens next after that? I don't really care what happens after that with them. That was cool. Sanderson really writes action piece as well. So that was, I think, one of the things that can really highlight him well. One of the things I think I brought up in the last review was how I was interested to see if Sanderson would keep up with Jordan's little writing choices, like the folding her arms under her breasts, or that's another one that he says all the time. Nynaeve tucking her braid. And I was kind of interested to see how often that would happen, and I think he did it once for each. And it was like, done it once, all right, not again. It's like very nice. It was like, I paid, I'm still doing it. That's part of what makes it feel so continuous between Jordan and Sanderson. That like he still adds those things in, but just does it once, and then you don't have to hear it again for another book, which I appreciated. So that is a really nice way for. That's an improvement, I will say. Sanderson writes in interesting ways, and one of the things that I really liked, it definitely feels like a specifically Sanderson, creation, is that all throughout the past few books you've been seeing these like ripples of evil and these little inconsistencies in the pattern where a talent's there, then it's not there. The road's there and it sinks and someone gets swallowed up or something like that. And they're like little, or this person turns into beetles or bad stuff that's happening. And it takes a lot of time with Matt in the story to really explore that that concept in a really creative way. And I won't get too much into it. It's, I think, all that Matt really does in the book. He's just kind of making his way to Tar Valon. Maybe he has something to do with the dragons in this book. In all fairness, I did finish this book a while ago, and I've been doing a lot of traveling, so I haven't gotten around to actually finish it while I was in Korea. So I haven't gotten a chance to really, I haven't had a chance for a while to get to this. So my memory's a little fuzzy. Basically, the whole scene that Matt goes through in this town is awesome, and I would love to have had that be like a Sanderson novella in between the books, like that I think is one of my favorite parts. Well, not my many favorite parts of the Stormlight Archive is that he takes the little novellas in between and really kind of explores something that really doesn't have time to be explored in the book, in the main series, but is really cool and has a really unique, different take. And this was something that I would have loved to see explored for longer, and is almost definitely something that I'll add into the D&D campaign someday, because it's really cool. Unspecifically jumping around, at some point, Elaine's got to have these babies. She's been pregnant for like ever. I don't know when that's happening, but her character's kind of stagnated since she's become queen. I'm not really that interested in what she's got going on. She's like, oh yeah, well, get ready for the last battle, I guess. She was boring. Nynaeve has also not really been doing much. I feel like she had like a really nice purpose up until they cleanse the source together, and then it's kind of like, I'm here, just, waiting for the last battle. I know she still has she's like the one Aes Sedai that Rand trusts, and that's good, but she's not really doing much, which is fine because I don't really like her that much anyway, and I don't feel like I'm missing much. But so that's Egwene. She's great. Perrin. What did Perrin do in this book? I think Perrin spends most of the book trying to figure out the Wolf Dream and figures out trying to come to terms with being the leader of his army. I don't think he has that much going on. It's mostly about Rand. And I guess to conclude my rambling review of this book, the best scene in the book And this is one of the things that I think I love the most about Sanderson's writing, is that I really do feel like these parts of the book are scenes. Like, you could see it so well. It's he does such a great job at writing compelling, intense scenes, and I wish I could see this in real. I don't know if I didn't really like the Wheel of Time series that much, the show. So maybe it'll improve over time, and we'll get to see it. It'll be awesome, but we'll see, I guess. But Rand decides he's not going to kill Shan-Chan, and he goes to the top of Dragon Mount and basically says, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to kill everyone because the world's just got to end. It's time to break the wheel. And he has this really intense scene where he's basically about to unleash the entire power of the Troidan Kal, or however you say that, on the world and re-break the world. And he connects with Lews Therin, and they basically decide that, you know, living over and over again tied to the wheel just gives you a chance to correct your mistakes and do it better the next time. And Lews Therin and Rand finally become one. They become the same person, and these two warring halves come together, and the clouds break. Because that's how the book starts, with all the clouds, and so it's a really nice way to bring just not Rand's journey to a satisfying, or I guess not his whole journey, but like this leg of his journey to a satisfying conclusion, but also ties really well. The book comes together, and it's a really great moment for Rand as a character, for the series as a whole. It was awesome. It's the part of why this book is so good, because you now feel like, all right, you finish this book, the last battle's coming. You better get ready for it. So I am very excited to finish the series. So close. The Gathering Storm is great, and anyone who's read the series, I'm sure, probably agrees. So I don't think I need to say anything more about it, and I hope that I'm able to finish this series as soon as possible.